Guys, welcome back to another video, and in this video we're going to be continuing on with our SwiftUI tutorial series, and in this particular tutorial we are going to be taking a look at NavigationView in SwiftUI. Now, NavigationView is a type of view that allows you to navigate from one screen to another. If you're familiar with UIKit, we have UI navigation controller, and that's kind of what this is. Kind of, because of how this kind of adapts based on your operating system. Now, another thing I should bring up is that this view is deprecated in macOS 15, iOS 18, iPadOS 18, watchOS 11, tvOS 18, and visionOS 2 are the last operating system versions in which you can use NavigationView. After this, you will no longer be able to use it. So, in the next video, I'm going to show you NavigationStack, which is a newer sort of navigation system, navigation view that we're going to that you really should adopt. And when we get to that video, we'll talk a little bit more about it. But generally speaking, if you need to support anything below iOS 15, I believe this was introduced. If you need to support anything beneath iOS 15, then NavigationView is fine. But if you need to support anything above iOS 18, then you're out of luck with NavigationView. But I wanted to include it in this series because you might be working on older code bases, and you're going to have to know how to use it and kind of how exactly how to interact with it. Okay, so on iOS, NavigationView renders as sort of like a stack of screens that you push and pop off of each other. And that is the UI navigation controller in UIKit. That's how that works. On macOS, NavigationView is shown in a 2-column layout where you have a sidebar section and a detail section. And on iPad, you also have a sidebar and detail view, kind of a 2-column layout, except the sidebar is collapsed in the form of like is collapsed in on itself like a drawer. And that's where your sidebar list would go and all that stuff. We had that for a couple years, and it was a little bit clunky. It was it's a little bit harder to work with, but that's what we had. So let's go ahead and actually use NavigationView. So in our SwiftUI view, so in Xcode, inside of our body, we're going to say NavigationView, and then open a closure there. So right now, this is what we'll have if we save this and run it in the simulator. All right. Right now, you don't really have anything on screen. You don't really see much of anything, and that's intentional. Inside of NavigationView, let's just put, say, some text. So text, this is a test. All right. And on this text, I want you to put a dot navigation title. This modifier will take in a text view, and we'll say test. Save this, and we will run our code. And we get a build failure. Ah. All right. Let's try that again. Okay. So it is being uncooperative today. Test. All right, there we go. Save that. Now run it. Okay. Now, when we run our app in the simulator, we can see our text right there in the center. This is a test. But then also at the top, we can see our navigation title as test up in large, as a large title. Now, by default, that's what it will use, but you can change this. I believe you need to put this on the navigation view itself. We'll say dot navigation bar navigation bar title display mode. And then in here we can say large title or inline. We'll say inline. We can save this and run it. And now our title should be, if it worked correctly, it should be an inline smaller title. If not, what we can also do is we can get rid of it here. And we can place it in there. And run our code again. And there's our title. Pretty simple stuff right there. It looks like we do need to put it in inside of the navigation view instead of outside of it. So if something isn't working how you intend it to, kind of play around with the positioning of the modifier. Maybe you're putting the modifier in the wrong spot. But that is kind of, that's the basic way of rendering a navigation view. Right? In most cases, you are going to be navigating between different views. So in order to navigate to a different view, we need a navigation link. Now this acts like a button, and when you tap this button, it will navigate to a different screen that you specify. The most simple version of navigation link, and that every navigation view in SwiftUI, whether it be NavigationView, NavigationStack, or NavigationSplitView, all three of those support is the navigation link with a destination and a label. So we can say navigation link. This first closure is going to return a view for the destination that we want to go to. In this case, we'll just navigate to some text. So text. This is a destination view, like that. We'll make the font dot large title dot font weight is going to be dot black. And then we're going to set dot foreground style to dot green. So it's big, bold, and bright. That's what the text is going to be. Then we're going to have another. After that, we're going to have a label, and this closure is going to again contain a view that's going to have the text label or image label or whatever for our navigation link. In this case, we're going to again do a text view. And inside of our text here, it's just going to be go to destination, like that. All right. So save this and run it again. All right. So here we are in our simulator. We have our go to destination button here. And when we tap it, we went straight to our destination. And there's our text. Right? This is a destination view. It's large, it's black, it's bold, nice, big, bold, and bright. And then up above in our navigation bar, we have a back button. So we can go back to our primary screen. Or, and if you have multiple levels, it goes, pops the current one off the stack and, goes back until you reach the bottom or the main home screen. The thing about Navigation View is that it didn't support programmatic navigation. So you couldn't just have, say, a home button in your navigation bar and navigate straight right back to the home screen if you're several levels deep in your navigation. But now you can do that if you would like with the newer system. So that pretty much does it for this video, guys, on Navigation View. Thank you all so very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.